Make sure you're loud.
All right, Isaac, go ahead and rest. I'm pretty impressed, actually. So there's a lot of big pieces to that I really like. And the main things are where your elbows are tracking, right? You stand pretty close to the body. Your hands are positioned, well under your shoulders. Your body's in a generally straight line. The one thing that we're going to work on real quick is getting this slight lumbar curve out of your back where it's kind of dipping. Okay? And so we're going to work on that piece. And then the easy piece to correct is we're just going to get you to go down just a little bit lower. All right? So first, let's talk about that little position in the back. So I'm going to get into a plank, and I want you to just to look at the part of my back that's curved a little bit, okay? And I want you to feed the rubber band underneath where that curve of your back is, and there should be a little bit of a space there. All right, so go ahead and lay back, and we'll find it. Okay, so you might go down just a little bit, right about there. Okay, there you go. So you grab that end, I'm going to grab this end, and let's just pull it back and forth. So we can demonstrate where that space in your lower back is. Okay, go ahead and relax. What I'm going to have you do first is bring your knees up close to your chest or belly, feet off the ground, squeeze your knees in really, really tight for me, point your toes that way. Yep, right there. Let's squeeze those knees in there. Nice and tight. Now, I want you to take your hands, lift them off the ground, and reach to the wall over there. And I want you to tuck your chin, and I want you to pick your head up off the ground and take your chin. Now watch this. Boom, it's gone. Okay, go ahead and relax. So, that position took that natural curve in the back away. All right, so what we want to eventually learn how to do is strengthen up the core enough so that we can hold that position naturally more often. All right, and so let's just go through a few progressions with this position. This is something that you can do at home, and you should do a lot of it at home. You can do it while you're watching TV, maybe just 5-10 minutes a day working on this, and it's going to pay huge dividends in almost everything that we do. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you with how we do push-ups, how we do dips, and how we do pull-ups, and how this body position, curved body position, helps like power basic gymnastic style movements. And we consider all body weight type movements a gymnastics movement, right? Okay, so here's how we're going to do. So I'm going to have you get back into that bent knee hollow position. Go ahead and tuck your chin, get really tight. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to take this arm and let's raise it behind you. Just one. You got to maintain this. This is going to get tough. I'm going to keep some pressure on here to see when you start to lose it. Let's take that opposite leg and kick it out. Nope, the other one. Yeah. Okay. Now we're starting to lose a little bit. Let's go ahead and relax. Okay. All right, so we want to eventually work into that position where we can connect the ribs to the pelvic bone, and that's really the cue that you want to think about, is pulling your ribs down to your pelvic. Now let's talk about the push-up and how this translates to the push-up. Have you ever done yoga? Okay, so there's this position in yoga, or this movement called cat-cow. It looks like this. Here's your cat. Now in this position, you can see that curve in the back, right? All we're going to do is kind of warm up a little bit, warm up the spine, so it's just a little bit more flexible, so we can move in and out of that hollow position. I want you to do 10 cat-cows for me. Okay? So big back. Good. Keep your elbows straight for me, and then now drop your belly. Good. Now let's just move through that about 8 to 10 times. I want you to hold this position. Feel this position right here. How your shoulders are spread apart and your belly's really tight, okay? Now go ahead and relax for me. So now what we're gonna do, Isaac, is we're gonna get in a plank, but we're gonna have that cat position. So instead of being like this, I'm gonna be in this position here, all right? Squeezing my butt, spreading my shoulders apart, still in a nice straight line, right there. Okay, let's drop your butt a little bit. Drop your butt a little bit more. Down, down, down. Keep that position right there, hold it, and relax. Is give me 3 good push-ups and staying in that position the whole time. This time I want your chest all the way touching the ground, elbows lock out. When you hit the top of that plank, spread the shoulders apart, keep your belly tight, and keep your butt low. Just squeeze your butt cheeks. So now let's talk about the pull-up and see how the pull-up is very similar to that push-up position. So let's grab a bar where you have to jump so your feet aren't touching the ground. Get this out of the way. Okay, so we want to be able to do a pull-up the same way that we do a push-up. The position is the same. The arm movement is very similar. And we talked about your hands going back here, elbows tracking along the side of the body in that push-up. So when we do this pull-up, we want it to be the same. We want the body position to be the same, right? And if you watch my elbows, they still stay close to the body just like I was doing a push-up, okay? That's what we're working on, but here's the deal. We don't want to arch the back and get that curve there. So when you hang from this hanging position, I've got to get that banana position, and then from here, keep in that position all the time. Let's take it over here, and I'm going to show you how to modify this. You set this up around chin height, okay? So I want you to walk up. Let's drop it down one. And what's cool about this is, all we're doing, we're going to do a pull-up, but we're going to take some of your body weight out of it. Just like if we were lifting weights and it was too heavy, what would we do? We would take the weight off of that so that we could be successful. We're going to do the same thing with a pull-up. It's going to be hard, but this setup is going to allow you to get into that hollow position and maybe pull just a little bit of your body weight instead of the whole body weight. So what I want you to do is go ahead and grab it, just shoulders width apart, okay? And I want you to go ahead and go down to your knees, okay? Bring your hips all the way through until they're past the rib there. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, now I want you to sit back onto your calves and let your arms hang. So let's bring those hips through a little bit more. I want them to be slightly past the rig here. Okay, now, that position that we talked about, we can still get there. Let's squeeze those knees together. Let's pull the ribs down to the, now. On this next one, what I want you to do when you do the pull-up, when you get your chin to the bar, I want you to think about this being a fence, and I want you to peek over the top of the fence down the yard on the other side. Let's try it one more time. Okay? Let's get hollow. Squeeze the knees together. Pull your wrists down to your hips. Extend those arms for me. Sit all the way down. There you go. Now, this time I want you to peek over the fence. Peek over the fence, peek over the fence, and back down. And relax. Good. That was pretty tough, wasn't it? So, but you're doing the same action as you would for a pull-up. And you can do a lot more than this, so you can develop that strength so that you can eventually get on the bar and do those full-blown pull-ups. The thing I want you to walk away today with is that universal position of hollow. no matter what we're doing, we generally want to take our ribs, pull them down to the hips, squeeze the butt, and be in this concave position. It's really, really strong. Okay, one of the final cues I'm going to give you is when you're working on that, squeeze your butt cheeks as hard as you can. Also do 5 push-ups the way we just learned. Chest all the way to the ground, belly sucked in, spread your shoulders apart, lock your elbows at the top. Let's do 5 of them. Bar, I want you to give me 3 of those low bar squats.